every little comment, every small setback, if it all gets under your skin, you're not weak, you're untrained. You're giving away your power one reaction at a time. The truth is, the most unshakable people in this world don't have easier lives. They aren't free from judgment, failure, or chaos. They've simply mastered how they respond to it. They've built their inner world so strong that nothing on the outside can disturb their peace. Imagine walking through life with that kind of presence, where nothing shakes you, where no insult, delay, or disruption can disturb your focus. No overthinking, no outbursts, just unshakable calm. That's not a fantasy. That's a skill, and it can be trained. In this video, I'll show you how to create the mindset of someone who remains composed under pressure, unaffected by noise, immune to trivial distractions. You'll learn how to stop letting emotions control you and start commanding your emotions with authority. Because once you gain that level of inner control, no one, not a person, not a situation, not even failure, will ever hold power over you again. The world will test you. That's guaranteed. People will doubt you, insult you, try to provoke you. Things will fall apart. Life will hand you the unexpected. But here's the critical truth. In every one of those moments, you have a choice. Will you react emotionally, giving away your peace? Or will you stay rooted in control, responding with clarity and power? Most people let external conditions dictate their internal state. One rude comment ruins their mood for the entire day. One setback makes them spiral into doubt. One insult becomes their identity. That's not strength, that's surrender. But what if you stopped reacting? What if you refused to give your energy to things that don't deserve it? What if you became the kind of person who meets chaos with calm? This isn't about being cold. This is about being powerful. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care so deeply about your purpose, your peace, your time, that you refuse to waste it on things beneath you. You only have so much energy each day. If you spend it reacting to every criticism, every frustration, every petty comment, you'll burn out, lose focus, and slowly become the version of yourself you promised you'd never be. But if you stay calm, if you move with intention instead of emotion, you become efficient, focused, and powerful. Think about the greats, leaders, warriors, visionaries. They didn't rise by reacting to every insult. They weren't distracted by noise. They didn't explain themselves to people who didn't understand their mission. They stayed still when the world shook. They remained grounded when things went wrong. They didn't need to fight every battle because their very presence said everything. That's what detachment gives you: control without conflict, strength without effort, power without noise. And that kind of strength starts with one thing: emotional control. Let's say someone insults you. They want to provoke you. They're pushing buttons, expecting a reaction, but you give them nothing. You don't flinch. You don't respond. You just smile and walk away. In that moment, you've done more than stay calm. You've reclaimed power. You've confused them. You've shown them they don't own a piece of you. And that's real dominance. Most people are looking for a reaction. They feed off drama, but when you give them silence, you starve them of control. You leave them with their own emotions while you walk away clean, composed, and undefeated. This doesn't just apply to people. It applies to failure, rejection, setbacks. Most people internalize those experiences. They let them define their identity. But those who master detachment, they don't take it personally. They take it as data. They observe, adjust, move on. That job you didn't get, data. That deal that fell through, information. That person who walked away, a redirect, not a defeat. There's nothing emotional to unpack, just information to learn from. This is how powerful people move. They don't personalize everything. They don't spiral into stories. They don't live in the past. They evaluate, adapt, and continue forward. But how do you build that level of control? You train it daily. Emotional mastery isn't something you're born with. It's something you earn through repetition. You pause before reacting. You breathe before responding. You evaluate before investing energy. You become surgical with your attention. When something irritates you, ask yourself, is this worth my reaction? Is this worth my energy? If the answer is no, drop it. Don't entertain it. Don't feed it. Let it die right there. You'll be amazed how much power you gain when you stop responding to things that don't matter. Visualization is another tool. See yourself moving through life unaffected. Picture yourself walking into stressful situations with ease. Imagine a version of yourself that stays still in the storm. The more you feed that image, the more your subconscious begins to adopt it, and eventually it becomes who you are. Let people talk. Let them guess. Let them wonder why nothing shakes you. That mystery will say more than any words ever could. People will say emotional detachment makes you cold, but that's not true. You can feel everything: joy, pain, love, anger. But you are no longer ruled by those emotions. You experience them, then release them. You don't attach. You don't dwell. You move. That's the difference between emotional chaos and emotional control. One consumes you, the other sharpens you, and once you understand that emotions are tools, not truths, you stop being manipulated by them. You stop making impulsive decisions. You stop giving people access to your inner world just because they knocked on the door. Instead, you become selective, intentional, disciplined. You'll notice the difference in arguments. Most people try to win them. They raise their voice, interrupt, lash out. But you let them speak. You stay calm. You ask questions. You respond strategically. And in doing so, you gain control. Not just over the conversation, but over yourself. And when you walk away, they'll feel it. The power of someone who didn't react. The weight of someone who cannot be shaken. That's what emotional detachment gives you.
Yeah.
Not indifference, but influence. You start commanding respect without needing to demand it. You start drawing people in without chasing them. You become a presence people remember because you don't play the same emotional games everyone else does. You know who you are. You know where you're going. And anything that doesn't support that path simply doesn't deserve your attention. Now here's the deeper truth. Most people don't fail because they're not talented. They fail because they're emotionally undisciplined. They let fear stop them. They let doubt shrink them. They let frustration delay them. But when you train yourself to see emotions for what they are, temporary, you stop letting them dictate your future. That's how you become unstoppable. Not by having perfect circumstances, but by refusing to be moved by imperfect ones. Your mission must matter more than your mood. Your purpose must outweigh your triggers. Your discipline must override your distractions. When you wake up, don't ask yourself how you feel. Ask yourself what needs to be done. Because your emotions are unreliable in the short term. They fluctuate, they shift with the weather, with a single comment, with something as small as a lack of sleep. But your goals, your values, your mission, those must remain constant. That's what gives you direction when your feelings try to pull you off course. Every day, life will give you opportunities to react emotionally. You'll be tested by delays, by disrespect, by disappointments. But that's not a curse. It's a training ground. Every time you choose composure over chaos, you strengthen your mind. You prove to yourself that you're in control. And when the big storms come, the real losses, the betrayals, the breakdowns, you'll be ready because you've trained for it in the little moments. You didn't wait until life knocked you down to build resilience. You built it daily, silently, deliberately. This is what separates winners from wishers. Winners train their mind like they train their body, through repetition, through resistance, through focused effort. Wishers just hope they stay calm, hope they don't break, hope things go their way. But life doesn't respond to hope. It responds to strength, to consistency, to inner control. And that control deepens when you learn to let go of what you can't command. The root of most suffering, attachment. Attachment to outcomes, to people, to expectations. You try to force the world to match your vision, and when it doesn't, you suffer. But what if you stopped trying to control the external and started mastering the internal? Imagine water moving through a rocky riverbed. It doesn't complain when rocks appear. It doesn't demand they move. It flows around them, over them, past them. That's power. Adaptation is strength. Rigidity is weakness. You will lose people. You will face rejection. You will encounter failure. But none of that defines you unless you cling to it. Let it go. Keep moving. That's how you keep growing. Letting go isn't giving up. It's leveling up. It's realizing that your peace is more valuable than your pride, that your future matters more than your past, that your energy is too sacred to waste on things beyond your reach. And here's the paradox. Once you let go of the need to control everything, you gain real control over yourself. You become more fluid, more grounded, less shaken. That's what makes you powerful in chaos, your ability to surrender what doesn't serve you and to focus only on what you can control. And what can you control? Your breath, your words, your reactions, your focus, your effort, your habits, your thoughts. That's more than enough. Let the rest burn. Let the noise be noise. Your job isn't to calm the world, it's to stay calm within it. And one of the most underrated tools of power, silence. In a world addicted to noise, silence is disruptive. It's commanding. It creates space. It turns heads. Most people fear silence. They rush to fill it. They speak before they think. They reveal too much. But when you master silence, you hold the upper hand. In conversations, the one who speaks less holds more power. Words reveal, but silence conceals. Silence makes people guess, overthink, wonder. It puts you in control. When someone insults you, stay silent. When they pressure you for a reaction, pause. Let them stew in the space they created. Let them confront their own emotions while you conserve yours. In a negotiation, silence is leverage. It makes the other side uncomfortable. They start filling the space, exposing their hand. Meanwhile, you remain grounded, unshaken. Silence is not absence, it's strategy. And when you do speak, people will listen because they know you don't waste words. Your voice will carry weight, not because it's loud, but because it's rare. Discipline in speech is a sign of discipline in thought. The less you speak, the more you observe. The more you observe, the more you understand. And understanding, that's what gives you the edge. Most people miss the cues, the shaky voice, the hidden insecurity, the contradiction. You won't, because while they're busy speaking, you're studying. And when it's time to act, you'll move with precision, quietly, effectively, unapologetically. You'll realize that real power doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need to. It moves in silence and lets the results speak. It doesn't argue. It doesn't defend. It doesn't beg. It executes. So start practicing that now. Say less. Do more. Don't explain. Don't overshare. Don't expose your plans to people who don't deserve them. Let them wonder. Let them talk. Let them guess, because by the time they realize what you're doing, it'll already be done. That's how real power works. And the foundation beneath all of this is discipline. Discipline of thought. Discipline of emotion. Discipline of action. You don't develop this mindset by accident. You build it, brick by brick, decision by decision. You train when you don't feel like it. You stay calm when everything screams for you to react. You get up when quitting would be easier. And that consistency, that's what separates the elite from the average. Because the truth is, most people fold under pressure. They crave ease. They chase comfort. But comfort weakens you. It softens your edge. It makes you reactive instead of strategic. When you live for comfort, you panic in discomfort. But when you train for adversity, nothing surprises you. You expect resistance. You welcome challenge. You operate with the mindset, let it come, I'm ready. And in those moments when everyone else is losing their mind, you become the one who leads, the one who thinks clearly, the one who doesn't just survive, but dominates. That's what composure under pressure gives you, a tactical advantage, a calm that unsettles the world, a presence that bends chaos around it. And the deeper you go into this discipline, the more unshakable you become. People start asking how you stay so calm, how you don't break, how you keep moving when everything seems to fall apart. And your answer is simple. I trained for this, because that's what you've been doing. Every time you stayed silent when you could have exploded, every time you focused instead of reacted, every time you chose long-term mastery over short-term emotion, you were becoming someone unstoppable. You weren't just surviving, you were sharpening. Quietly, relentlessly, invisibly. And now you walk through chaos untouched. Now you don't flinch when life hits you. Now you remain unbothered by things that used to derail you. You've mastered the art of moving in silence. You've mastered the discipline of detachment. You've mastered the power of presence. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to chase validation. You don't even need to react, because everything you are speaks louder in stillness. You are the storm behind the silence, the strength behind the calm, the mind that no one can read and no one can shake. And this is the final form of power, when nothing external holds sway over your inner world, when you can feel deeply but remain composed, when you can face pressure but never fold, when you can walk away without anger, when you can lead with presence, not noise. Because power isn't in domination. It's not in volume. It's not in how loud you react or how fast you respond. Real power is in control, and control begins with detachment. So here's the final truth. You don't need to control the world. You just need to control yourself. Do that, and there's nothing life can throw at you that you can't handle. No insult that can shake you. No setback that can stop you. No person who can break you. Because your mind is yours. Your energy is yours. Your peace is yours. And from this point forward, so is your power. You don't just endure life, you master it. Calm, clear, composed, unshaken, unbothered, untouchable.